Welcome back. President Biden is now expected to address the United Auto Workers strike. He will do so later today. More than 13,000 UAW strikers are now on the picket lines against the three biggest automakers. This is the first time we've seen them do this against all three at the same time. That's Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, parent of Chrysler, failing to negotiate better wages and benefits. Joining me right now to talk more about all of that and this busy news day is New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Congressman, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for joining us. Let me start there. Your thoughts on this strike?
Well, I understand there's a lot of inflation and costs are going up and workers are probably looking for increase in pay. The demands are about 46% increase in pay across all of UAW, all those three that you just mentioned. I think there's been offers of between 10 and 15%, but it's going to be tough to go without pay if they continue to strike for how long, we don't know. Unfortunately, this is a result of when you lack having a dynamic economy, when you have the cost of inflation, the so-called Inflation Reduction Act that actually just did nothing to help inflation, but actually spurred in. Part of the problem is this push to have green automobiles and having electric cars. You saw that it's kind of a flop. I keep seeing it all over Facebook that the current Secretary of the Energy, Granholm, made a huge faux pas by having her advance team park in an electric car space. And yet, people were denied their access to the electric car. And it was a gas-powered car that was following her along for her show event to show how great electric cars are. Look, this is going to be a huge problem. Unfortunately, I know the workers are probably looking for a lot of pay, but at this point, I think it just hurts the industry and makes us non-competitive against so many of these foreign auto workers who are loving every minute of this, including China. So
yeah, exactly. I think you make a great point because that's one of the automakers' employees' gripes that, a lot of the work is going to China with this administration's climate change agenda. But you just mentioned this mishap by Jennifer Granholm. We got to underline that. This was just, wow, what a mishap. So walk us through exactly what happened. She's got her whole lineup of cars and she's going on a show and she has a gas-powered vehicle blocking where the EV needs to charge.
Yeah, exactly. And she actually admitted that she made a mistake. She tried to dodge us in the Science, Space, and Technology Committee yesterday for her annual appearance there. And she really just had to admit that it was a mistake. But it's interesting because my colleague, Congressman Franklin from Florida, outlined, her aggressive plan to move us to electric vehicles immediately. And he cited something really important. Florida is just recovered from yet another hurricane. And he said to Secretary Granholm, we're not going to be able to drive away from oncoming storms, sit in traffic, and get out of these situations in places like Florida where we have these types of weather issues in an electric vehicle. Same with my district. If we had a major snowfall, 7 feet of snow within a 24-hour period, as we did in Buffalo last year, and another 5.5 in my part of the district, we're not going to be able to have electric plows come and rescue people. And she just doubled down on her, soundbite, bumper sticker. We've got to all move to electrification 100%, which is a terrible policy, which is why I have sympathy for some of these auto workers. They're like, get some common sense. We're going to continue to need gas-powered vehicles and other alternatives forever. It's not going to ever be a 100% energy transition to electric.
God. Yeah. Here's the energy secretary yesterday. Watch.
What is the agency doing to encourage any decrease in those prices?
Well, we don't have, obviously the prices are met on the private sector, on a market, so we don't have direct impact on that market.
Like killing drilling in R-N.Y?
No, that has nothing to do with the price today.
So, okay, drilling in R-N.Y has nothing to do with the price today?
They are
right?
so authoritarian and arrogant. Maria, this is ridiculous. Cutting down our energy independence, shutting down our ability to drill for oil and gas, which has made our economy prosper, by the way. This is the fulcrum of everything that's going on with the problems in our economy, is this green energy agenda. She kept citing the IRA, which was really, remember, before the IRA was passed, the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, remember, we haven't reduced inflation. The Democrats, before Biden even signed it into law, they're talking, this is the biggest green energy bill in the history of America. This is our Green New Deal. That's really what it's all about. It's getting subsidies and money to their donors so that they can make money off the green energy while the American people suffer. Let them eat cake, as Jennifer Granholm said. And not only that, she was involved, I pointed out in my committee hearing yesterday, she's involved in the grift as well. She and her husband cashed in on Proterra stock. This sale of these electric vehicles, she lied to Congress. She lied under oath. She perjured herself and said, oh, I don't own any of these stocks. After 3 months in office, she was finally confronted. She was forced to sell those stocks. And look, she said, oh, but I didn't, I admitting it later doesn't excuse the perjury. And I called her out on that yesterday. Excellent by my colleagues yesterday in calling out this hypocritical, authoritarian Secretary of Energy who is bringing us to an area where we probably wouldn't be seeing a strike with UAW and these auto workers if we were not going down this unsustainable green path.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, Congresswoman, it feels to the rest of us like they keep winning. I mean, you've got bad policy on top of bad policy on top of corruption in plain sight. Let's talk about this corruption right now that we talk about every day. Special counsel David Weiss is now indicting Hunter Biden, charging the first son with 3 federal gun charges. Hunter faces a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison, which is a nice headline for somebody who breaks the law, but it's obviously unlikely that he gets one day. His father is probably going to pardon him on this. But this has nothing to do with the story that we've been talking about now for over a year, and that is the potential the potential crimes around being a foreign agent, allowing foreigners to pay the Biden family for policy decisions. Where does this investigation stand, and what can you tell us about this indictment of Hunter Biden?
Yeah, exactly. Well, first of all, it's the one charge that he could bring that didn't link Hunter Biden directly to Joe Biden. And we know between the bombshell whistleblower testimony, the FBI informant, confidential, trusted informant, Senator Grassley actually exposed and put his testimony out, link that with the testimony that James Comer put out, this suspicious activity reports with the 19 or 20 different entities that are where Joe Biden and his son created these. We know that they're guilty. But what's interesting? The Democrats have such short-sighted memories, because in 2019, when CNN wasn't sure they wanted Joe Biden as their nominee, CNN actually did a complete this is what's wrong with Joe Biden. They did actually a timeline of Joe Biden's questionable behavior and all the things that have been done and why he might not be ready to be president. I mean, we have a Washington Post reporter now saying Biden shouldn't run. So when you see all these signals coming, I said this to you on your show a few weeks ago. I think the Democrats are saying, okay, we can't have this guy in there. I think they're starting to gel around that idea. So we'll see what happens. I just think that the corruption is too much.
The fact that the Washington Post is now saying, Joe, move aside, tells you that the Democrats are beginning to succumb to the idea that they're going to throw Joe Biden overboard, but who's going to be the candidate? Kamala Harris? Wow. Or Gavin Newsom? What do you think?
Well, actually, David Ignatius from the Washington Post said we can't have either one because she's less popular than Joe. This political, I thought, really just terrible article by him. But it's a signal. I don't know. It looks like they're polishing off Gavin Newsom, but he's backing off. So we'll see, Maria. This is this is a sign, though, that they know that they can't cover up this Joe Biden scandal much longer. So much is being written about it. The American people, by a 60% margin, I think you put this poll out, are not happy with the Bidens and their corruption. And we're hovering over the target right now. And social media, thankfully, and sometimes I don't love it, but it is, people have their own way to get the information. And CNN now has to scramble. Washington Post is scrambling. And, you had your finger on the pulse from the very beginning on this. I think you're starting to see Joe Biden's world crumble. When they start talking about, oh, poor Biden, he loves it. Joe Biden loves his son. Joe Biden used his son to enrich himself. That's what this is all about. I don't want to hear that there's no link there. I heard our minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, say, Joe Biden did nothing. Well, of course he did something. We all know it. They know it. But they don't have a choice. Who are they going to put up?
Well,
Gavin
yeah.
Newsom
Well,
has destroyed California with his green energy policy.
Right. Well, we'll see if voters vote for policies like the policies in California, which has crime rising and homelessness all over the place, or good looks. All right. We'll see. Claudia Tenney, it's good to see you. Thank you. We will be right back.
Thank you.